Sactown Sports Breaking News.
Kyle was so excited to hit this breaking news, we did not even get the Cattles and Ramie rejoin. Right to it, baby. That's what we do. Breaking news this hour from Adrian, Wojnarowski, and Ramie.
About time.
This is the news we have been waiting for.
About time.
It feels like, 5 years since we've been waiting for this.
You can breathe, Kings fans.
But the news is here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Adrian Wojnarowski reports that the Sacramento Kings have signed general manager Monty McNair to a contract extension.
That's great news.
Woo! Standing ovation. Standing ovation for Monty.
My knees hurt.
Standing ovation for Monty. Well overdue. I don't think anybody in this city, I don't think anybody in this state, I don't think anybody in this country would disagree with the fact that Monty McNair deserved this contract extension.
My only question is, what took so long?
Look.
That's the only question.
Now you're being negative. I'm not going there. I couldn't care less. It got done.
And so I don't appreciate your time.
I see what you're doing now.
The point is that it got done. Whether we had to sit through.
Good news.
We had to sit through and wait, and it doesn't matter. Our patience level doesn't matter, Ramie.
True.
As long as the deal got done.
True.
The deal got done. Monty has done nothing but great work. And he has been going back to the Halliburton trade, which, by the way, can I just say this? Monty McNair deserves all the love in the world for pulling the trigger on the Halliburton deal. Because, number one, Hallie was a beloved member of this team and this community. He always said the right thing. He played hard. He was fun to watch. He has a tremendous ceiling. Monty pulled the trigger and traded somebody who was very popular. But he not only did that, Ramie, he did that at a time when his future was legitimately up in the air. And what that tells you is that Monty believed in that move. He was committed to that move, and he thought that move was going to make De'Aaron Fox better. He thought that move was going to make this team better, and he saw Domas as the epicenter of this offense and somebody who could impact games at a ridiculously high level. And he took the shrapnel from a lot of Kings fans. He took a lot of strays from Kings fans about that trade when it happened.
Those are the hard moves to make. Those unpopular moves that you know you're going to catch heat for, you have to really, really believe in your convictions and what you're doing to pull the trigger on a move like that. Not just the blowback, Nick, but, I mean, he knew he was trading a very good player and a guy with a high ceiling who still had a lot of room to grow and improve in this league when he traded Tyrese Halliburton. And the easier thing to do might have been to just stick with that guy and to keep on going with things as is. But he had a vision and he had conviction in it and he followed through with it, and he deserves the job security that he got today.
The Hallie trade and really everything he's done. I mean, look, drafted Hallie, drafted Davion. Both of those picks, hits. Drafted Keegan. Keegan is on a heater in January. He's in the conversation for Rookie of the Year. Made the trade for Kevin Huerter. For really you didn't give up much at all for Kevin Huerter. Brought Huerter in, who was a great fit. Signed Malik Monk. Look, Monk has been bad recently. We've talked about that. Monk was very good last night. One of his best complete games of the year, rebounding, dropping dimes, scored a couple of buckets. So, when you look at what's happening here with
what about bringing in Mike Brown?
This organization, bringing in Mike Brown, he's done so many good things. He has built this roster to be a playoff caliber team. And he has, to me, made almost the right call every single time. Tell me something that he's done that has just completely failed or hasn't worked out the way you would hope. Again, Monk could be better the last couple of months, but we're talking about a team that's 8 games above 500, 3 seed in the Western Conference, couple games behind Memphis for the 2 seed. They, oh, by the way, have the best record on the road in the Western Conference this year. Best road record in the conference right now. So this guy has built it. He deserves this. Stay out of his way. Continue to let him do work. He obviously understands talent. And I think this is a tremendous move. It's something that we've been waiting for. Also, Wojnarowski reports the Kings are working to finalize a new deal with assistant GM Wes Wilcox. So we talk about, one of the things, Ramie, that we talk about and did talk about an awful lot before you got here in June of last year was the cyclical nature of what was happening with this team and the structure. And by the way, if you're watching right now on youtube.com, this is where you get the breaking news. Make sure you give us that thumbs up so we can get more eyeballs and build this community out. youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. When you look at how this organization was run over the past few years, they got into this vicious cycle where you'd hire a coach, then you'd get a new GM, then you'd hire a coach and get a new GM. And you never married them together, which is why as soon as Mike Brown got the job, I said, hey, give Monty the extension to marry the GM and the coach. Right. This is the GM's guy.
Attach him at the hip.
Yep. And so that's what they're doing now.
It's great.
That's what they're doing.
There's something to be said. I mean, obviously, it's doing the job well, first and foremost, right? Monte McNair finding the right talent, finding the right coach, finding the right chemistry, and his job description essentially, and doing it well. But there's something to be said about cohesiveness, about stability, and it's something that the Kings haven't had in a long time. And this solidifies that. This cements that they have at least a good base, Nick, to build on here.
Yes. And so what you have is you've got Coach Brown signed, sealed, delivered, locked in, long-term deal. Your GM, Monty McNair, signed, sealed, delivered as of today with a contract extension. Don't know how long the extension is. Don't know if we'll get those details. Sometimes GM deals are kind of, there's a game played and you don't really get the details in term of the contract. But Monty is signed to a new extension. I would hope and I would imagine that Monty's extension is tied with Coach Brown's contract. So their term is the same, I would hope. And you also have your assistant GM, Wes Wilcox, signed, sealed, and delivered. This is stability. This is structure. This is cohesion within the front office and head coach and coaching staff. If you want to run a successful organization, Ramie, you've seen it with the Chicago Bulls back in the day when you were growing up. You've recently seen it in Milwaukee and what the Bucks have done. Across any sport you talk about, football, hockey, doesn't matter. When you talk about stability and structure from the top on down, that's when you build a team that is legitimate. That's when you build a perennial contender. That's how you build a perennial contender, a perennial playoff team. When you have that structure from the top on down.
Foundation is the word I was looking for.
Foundation.
I said base. I meant to say foundation.
And this is all about having that foundation.
This is really good news, man.
This is fantastic.
Really,
news.
really
This is
good
a bet.
news.
Look, you had a great win last night, and then you have the deal now with Monty and Wes Wilcox. Your GM, your assistant GM tied up for the next few years at least. Again, don't know term. Maybe Dave can get those details. Maybe Deuce and Mo. All of them are well connected. Maybe they'll get the term. But I will just tell you, this is awesome. And look, obviously, youtube.com, Sactown Sports 1140. Be a part of the community. Don't forget to give us that thumbs up and like us so we can have even more eyeballs. Cole G reminds me he traded for Trey Lyles. Yes, Trey Lyles was a throw-in. He was a throw-in. Think about that.
Yep. Dude, everything he's done, everything he's touched has turned to gold.
So we've got Wes Wilcox is next. Cole G alerted us to that news, so thanks to him. Cole G also said Monty looked happy last night on the broadcast.